there's a large proportion of people in this community and families in this community who are at risk and who are poor. I don't try to keep these issues quiet, and I think that they're important issues. And when 40% of the individuals in your county are poor, that's a big issue. And without an activist, without a voice giving some momentum behind that, not a lot of people would know. I'm not just doing research and publishing articles and putting it out there into the academy, but I'm actually taking what I find out and doing something about it. Essentially what I do now is I study poverty and food insecurity within the region of the Eastern Illinois Food Bank. I look at the geographic distribution of where poverty is within the counties that are serviced by the food bank. And so it allows for a nice dynamic to be able to compare the data between different sized places within a geographic region. I'm a researcher, so it allows me an avenue to give back. It gives me something that I can say, this is my skill, this is my trait, this is what I have to offer, and it allows me to then take that and move it forward and help connect organizations with ways to better programs or to highlight where needs are so that they can better serve the community themselves. I teach statistics, and so I get to use a lot of what I do in the other part of my job, in my research part, to bring into the classroom and show them in the real world, here's things that you can do. What I've done is I've worked with Rachel Fisher in the Student Community Service Office, and we have come up with a student organization called the Hunger Action Team. And what the Hunger Action Team exists to do is to educate, to be activists about issues of poverty and hunger, not only in our community, but around the state, around the country, and around the world, so that they can see these issues firsthand and hopefully get inspired to do something about it while they're here at Eastern or after they leave. You can say, oh, we should give something to the homeless, or we should support the businesses, but then you got to back it up. You got to say why it would be good or why it would be bad. And that's the enlightenment part. That's the bringing yourself in, because that's where you speak to the essence of the way that you see a situation and what you have to put out there. If you have a passion about something, if you have something that you believe in, speak up for it. You and I might disagree, and that's fine, but don't just sit on your hands. If you have a passion, go out there and be a voice for it, and no one will ever fault you for the way that you feel or for your passion.
There's so many times that either I was fighting with someone or I was sad about, you would probably find me in here. Been in here and quiet with maybe lights on, lights off, just like shooting the ball that you've been holding since 8 years old, you know, just something that you know and it's something that you're familiar with no matter what's going on. My name is Sabina Orsova, but I'm known as Sabi, and I'm from Bratislava, Slovakia. I started playing when I was 8 years old, and I was basically only one from my family playing basketball because everybody else was focused on kayak and canoe, so my whole family was playing that sport. People in my family were like athletes and very successful athletes, so there was some people that I really looked up to, and I knew how it is to be athlete and what is the life of athletes gonna be. Before I even came here, I played for a professional team I was just helping them out because it was in my hometown. So I was playing with them, so I got to play with Americans and, just a professional, like big players. And then when I came here, the main difference was the physicality of the game, maybe the speed of the game, and just maybe like the whole attitude about sports here compared to Slovakia. I feel like the game is always the most exciting time from the seasons. Like, practice is something that you need to go through to get better, but the games, it's like a privilege. You get to show how you are as a team and as a player, so it's really exciting. The only thing that is really different between me, Sabi, on the court and off the court is I don't like conflict off the court. But on the court, just like, if you're gonna challenge me, I'm gonna challenge you back. I need someone to motivate me to be physical. So let's say someone, talking on the court, I don't really talk back. I just show them with my move or with my physicality that they need to stop.
She has posted 33 double-doubles. Last season, she set the school single-game scoring record with 38 points in a win at Brandon. Joined by Faye Moore and Daniel Prince.
It always feels good to make my parents proud, maybe my coaches proud, and just people around that see me basically grown and see me become who I am right now. And this whole experience that I've been here, learning languages and going here, meeting people, making connections, it's just gonna be always good, and it's always gonna be there forever.
Being a double minority in the field is difficult because you look around and you don't see people that look like you, and you question yourself, do I belong here? Did I make the right decision? And sometimes you just have to suck it up and just go with your gut feeling, just pursue and do your dreams and your goals, and you have to block out the negativity and just have tunnel vision so that you could reach what's been set in your heart to do. I currently work for McKissick & McKissick. That is a minority-owned and women-owned business enterprise, and I am a project engineer. We are currently constructing the new Malcolm X College, which is on the west side of Chicago. Although you're working hard and diligently to get tasks done and get them done efficiently, you still need to be on your toes in this industry because working in construction, we're on a schedule, and schedule means time, which means money. So we have to stay within budget and within our schedules. I like the intensity, I like the pressure. It makes me work harder and it makes me do my job more effectively. You're gonna be faced with challenges. I don't resist them, I just take them on and I try to come up with solutions to solve them. The first day of me attending Eastern Illinois University, and I had my first industrial tech class, which was a construction course. And I walked into the classroom, and I looked around, and I was the only girl, and I was the only African American as well. The professor comes in. Sure enough, he says, "Dominique, what are you doing in this class?" And I looked up and I said, "I don't know." And then he said, "Well, Dominique, if you stick with this career would be very rewarding to you." He said, "If you persevere and you make it through the challenges and difficulties, you will shine in this field." And I always kept that in the back of my head. And from that moment on, I made no excuses. I didn't look at it as, oh my gosh, I'm the only one. I looked at it as, oh my gosh, I could really make a difference.
Eastern gave me an opportunity to do a lot of things I think at a big university I wouldn't have been able to do. I maybe not have the opportunities at a very small school that I did at Eastern. I was active in student government. I worked at a clothing store that was very popular right across from Old Main. So it gave me the opportunity to be involved, to kind of start my political career. I mean, Eastern was a small enough school that you really knew most all the students. That's very important because those friendships have stayed throughout my life. And when I ran for governor, I'd run into people who had graduated from Eastern and people I'd gone to school with, and it's a big help. I don't think I'd have been governor of Illinois if I hadn't gone to Eastern Illinois University. My mother grew up in a small town, and she always told me it's quality, not quantity, that counts. So I think the size for a state university, not just here in Illinois, but throughout the Midwest, this is an ideal size. Also, the mixture of downstate, suburban, Chicago students, there's a good cross-section that I think provides diversity, which you don't always have in a state university. Best time I ever had in life, I think, was when I was in college at Eastern. Some people say high school, but I really enjoyed college. I enjoyed being involved in student government. I enjoyed the intellectual challenge in class. I enjoyed the social scene, and it was a great time.
I'm absolutely passionate about my work here at the Grand Ole Opry. There's nothing else like this show anywhere in the world, and I mean, I feel kind of a personal obligation to do what I can to make sure as many people on Earth know about it. I want young people to discover the Grand Ole Opry just like I did and become enamored with it and bring their kids and their grandkids here. I love country music, I love the history of country music, and I really wanted to be a part of making this 90-year tradition last even longer and propel it into its next 90 years. Looking back, the thing that Eastern did for me is that it served as a great bridge between an undergraduate experience and a professional career, which really helped me to become the communications professional I am today. Almost every week, at least once a month, someone who has dreamed of a career in country music, that dream comes true and that they're playing the Grand Ole Opry for the first time. I love that it's so completely unique and that you can't go anywhere else on Earth and see something like it. And if you see this show, you know where it's coming from and where it is, that it's Nashville, Tennessee, and it's the Grand Ole Opry. I love that we're a 90-year-old brand that still has so much vitality. It's a great thing to be a part of. Who wouldn't want to help make people's dreams come true?
If you would backtrack about 10 years and tell me that I'd be doing what I'm doing now, I probably wouldn't believe you, but I've always kind of had an odd sense of style. In the small town of Diedrich, Illinois, where I'm from, there are limited places to shop. And so that's kind of essentially why I started AT Avenue, was to give women a more unique buying experience, one, and then also bring unique clothing to the area. I buy things that push my clients out of their box. So it really challenges their closet, their wardrobe, and when they come to an AT Avenue show, they know that they're going to find something that they would wear for a special occasion, timeless pieces that never get old, that can stay in your closet forever. I absolutely enjoy what I do. I get to wake up every morning and buy clothes for other people and style other people, make women feel good about themselves. I want to eventually turn this into not only just a clothing company, and I also want to be a speaker, and I want to be a writer, and I want people to come to me to build other women's confidence. And so I would love to attend women's conferences talking about fashion and self-worth and self-confidence, and that's kind of where I see my future. Going to Eastern has been one of the best experiences for me because I've gotten to meet a lot of people, but I've also been able to apply exactly what I learned in my business courses to AT Avenue. So I've gotten to build really great long-lasting friendships even with my professors at Eastern, just because I've kind of stepped up and asked them for help. So professional sales, relationship selling, retail, promotions, all of those things I'm literally taking from the classroom and directly applying it to AT Avenue. Starting a business, that's actually the easiest part. Getting people to trust you, getting people to want to purchase from you, that's the hard part. And so that's something that's reoccurring every single day. It's like a revolving door, but it's a revolving door that I like.
As I progressed and matured in terms of high school, I kind of saw myself going down this path of medicine and going down this path of being totally committed to what I do. And then through my experiences here at EIU, I've really matured and cemented that I want to be the hardest working person in the room. I may not be the smartest person in the room, but I will have the most passion. And then as a result of that, I know I will be successful. I've battled a lot of hardship in terms of my family and sickness and my parents not being able to support me, and it's extremely meaningful, and I couldn't be more grateful for the donations I've received, and really, it's really made everything possible for me, because without it, I don't know if I'd be here. I've received great mentorship through Dr. Grotto, who is an Eastern alum, and he went to Eastern and went to Southern Illinois Medical School, and now he's practicing out in Arizona. And as a result of his mentorship, I was able to go out to Arizona and work with him, and now I have a great relationship with Dr. Grotto, and we speak regularly, weekly, and he is currently helping me in the process of understanding the medical field, applying for medical school, and preparing to go to medical school. Last summer, I spent the entire summer researching down here at Eastern at the university in the biology department. The research grants have been a great way for me to continue my research and continue my interests in pursuing the research questions that I've come up with and that I really aspire to solve. I was able to collaborate with Dr. Menz and Dr. Nathan, and they were really helpful in terms of guiding my project and guiding my research skills. And so over the summer I really developed as an adult and as an analytical thinker and as a student of science. Being a recipient of these donated scholarships has been honestly a life-changing experience. They've provided me with the opportunity to go to school. To know that they support me, I could not be more grateful and thankful to them. They have provided me with the opportunity to be successful here at Eastern.
Why bats? Bats have intrigued me for some time. I'm fascinated by the phenomenon of migration. How do small animals travel, thousands of kilometers? Sometimes they've never done this before. They're encountering new environments, unfavorable weather conditions, they don't know where to eat or what to eat. How do they do this? They've evolved to do this, and to me, that's amazing. When I was young, I loved to be outside. I really loved to get dirty. Just being outside, even if I wasn't interacting with wildlife, just being outside was fun. And it turns out that, wow, I can actually do what I love to do, protect wildlife, interact with animals, be outside, and I can do all that. That's a career. Bats in particular, when you can catch them, it's sort of like revealing the nightlife of, these animals. I'm Dr. Jill Deppy. I'm an associate professor in biological sciences at Eastern Illinois University. My area of interest and research is ecology, mostly of wildlife. So I run the Wildlife Ecology Lab. The focus of our bat research is to understand how bats interact with their environment, what environmental resources they need, so that we can give the information to DNR, places like McHenry County Conservation District, so they can better manage their resources to protect the bats. I often bring the experiences that we have in the field with this particular project to my classes. In the times when I've taken students out to catch bats, when we catch bats, you can just see it in their faces. I mean, they sort of come alive. And I think it just sort of, I don't know, just inspires them to do something where they can actually see these animals. I never stop being excited. I don't know, there's just something about being so close to these animals. So it's excitement, and I think just awe. I mean, these are these small creatures that do all these amazing things like echolocation. Just that excitement of getting close and getting to know this organism that most people don't ever have the experience, and I feel privileged. And I feel also excited that I'm doing something important. Ultimately, it all comes back to us. I appreciate them, I appreciate the things they do for us, but I just enjoy seeing them.